Hey guys, Angry Monkey here.
And Jackson Ferrell from Hot Pile of Garbage.
And we're doing some more 999. We're almost out of this room.
Yep, we've got the key. I won't even bother with searching it.
Yeah, we know it's a key.
Yep. And they'll just beat us over the head with its keenness once again.
How very keen.
Yep. The key thing. Let's just put this key in here and... Yes! Sounds like that did it.
Yay! Looks like it's open, Jumpy.
I see. This key should open this door.
Hey, what are you waiting for? Let's go!
Oh, this game. I swear.
And it's still open. Still more... Okay.
Everything's a big ordeal.
Okay, so anyway. We open this door. We're out of this room.
We found it.
Yay!
Good work, us. A little bit of applause. Not to toot my own horn or anything, but... confetti and streamers.
The hallway that left the cargo room headed straight toward the stern. Junpei and the three others proceeded down it, silently. Some distance along it, a large room opened up on the left-hand side.
Huh.
It looked familiar. An iron gate covered each of the elevators. Junpei and his companions drew to a stop and began to discuss what their next move should be.
We've seen this elevator before.
We got off on the one on the left side just a little while ago.
Then we went through the number 6 door, and then took us to the engine room.
Yes, and after that we passed through the cargo room.
And now we're back here.
In other words, we made a loop. We're back where we started.
Junpei approached the elevator. Gently, he pushed the triangle button on the wall next to it. A moment passed. And it opened. Dot, 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 dot. The elevator door opened. Dot, dot, dot.
Dot, dot, dot.
Dot, 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 dot.
And we go off the deep end, too.
And shut. Pushing the button had apparently restored power to the elevator. I wish it was always that easy to restore power, just push a button.
Yep.
Then again, I guess flipping a switch on the breaker does that. So,
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
It's just a matter of where the button is.
Yeah, okay, so now the elevator was now functional.
What do we do? Should we return to C deck? No, this hallway keeps going. Even if we do end up going back, I think we should see what's down there first.
I agree. Let's go. Their decision made, Junpei and his companions left the elevators behind and continued down the hallway.
Here we go.
Okay, sometime later, Santa, who had been walking several paces in front of the rest, suddenly stopped. Set in the wall in front of him was a door. So far as Junpei could see, there was no other way to proceed. It was the door or nothing.
Alright, let's open it.
Junpei took a deep breath, readied himself, then grabbed the doorknob and pulled the door open.
There was a door opening animation. It was amazing.
He paused for a moment, then stepped through into the room. And there he saw the number that hung over their heads since they'd woken up.
Da, 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 da.
9. Like the numbers on every other door, this one, too, was a rough shape made of red paint. Its door was set in the back wall of the room. Junpei leapt toward it with a sudden burst of hopeful energy. It was a large double door, heavy and full of solemn importance. He grabbed hold of the door handle and shook. Nothing, but he hadn't expected it to open.
We gotta play by the rules.
Right. The red sat on the wall next to the door. Its screen read vacant. Finally, they'd found it. Junpei felt himself overwhelmed by a torrent of emotion. At last, they found the exit, but cold gripped his heart, and he knew all too well why. As he stood, frozen, unsure of what to think or feel.
Jumpy! Look! Behind you!
He spun around and couldn't believe what he saw. It was a door with the number 9 written across it. Was there. A second door.
Why?
Junpei's voice was barely audible, even to himself. He stumbled toward the second door as if somehow compelled. It was a small, single door. It sat in the starboard corner of the room, on the same wall as the door they'd entered from, but in the opposite corner. 9. There was no mistaking it. A red sat on the wall next to this door as well. Junpei shook the door handle pointlessly and muttered to himself.
Why the crud are there 2 doors?
It was Santa who answered. There were always 2 doors. Just think about it, man. Zero never said there was only 1 door with a 9 on it. Okay. Oh, it's Junpei's line, not
It
Zero's.
is hidden, but an exit can be found. Seek a way out. Seek a door that carries a 9.
Of course, we just assumed that there was only 1. After all, why would there be more than 1?
Oh, man.
Jeez. Junpei was stunned. Zero's... Zero's trick had taken him completely by surprise. There were 2 doors. That meant that all 9 people who had met at the central staircase could escape and no one be left behind.
In a world where there are 2 doors.
In a world where there were 2 doors, all 9 would have been able to make it out alive. Now the reason for the bracelets being numbers 1 through 9 was clear. Divided into 2, the digital root for both teams would be 9.
Uh-huh.
For instance, okay, blah, blah, blah.
That would have worked.
That would have worked. Okay, there were
Many other workable combinations.
but they all ended the same, a digital root of 9. What did that mean? The answer was quite simple. From the very beginning, the nonary game was designed to save all 9 people. Zero hadn't been lying. Zero had never said there was only 1 door. But anyone who found themselves in the game would have assumed that was the case. Fights would have broken out. One team would likely betray or deceive the other. Someone might be hurt. Someone might get killed. But eventually, they would reach the room Junpei now found himself in and realize the pointlessness of whatever violence they'd visited upon each other. There were 2 doors. No need to kill each other. They'd understand and be appalled, overwhelmed with guilt at what they'd done. Perhaps that was the purpose of the game. That was how the nonary game was meant to be played. Fortunately, they hadn't started to fight one another, at least not yet. But if one misstep was made, the wrong mistakes happened, the stakes would rise and the noose would tighten. The thought of it sent a chill down his spine. So, what are we gonna do, Junpei? A voice broke through Junpei's frantic thoughts. Santa's voice. It brought Junpei back to his senses.
I never can remember. Is my number 9?
Huh?
Like Junpei's number. Is it 9?
Yours is 5.
Oh, okay. See, with, 9 is dead.
Yeah. 90 died a long time ago.
See, I never can remember Junpei's number because he doesn't have a code name.
Yeah.
Like, at least with the others, I can think, oh, that's...
Okay, 7 is 7. 7 is the one with the 7 on it. Okay.
Yeah, but Junpei, I have to go through every other character in my brain and be like, okay, that number's taken, that number's taken.
So eventually you either come down to 9 or 5.
Yep. And I forgot for a moment that 90 was dead.
Yeah. So no use worrying about the future. He needed to figure out what they were going to do next. There were 4 people in the room. Ace, Santa, Junpei, and June. Their bracelet numbers were 6. We just got out of the 6th door. We don't need to add all that up.
Yep. 6.
In other words, the 4 of them couldn't open the door with the number 9. But what if there were only 3? Would door 9 be open with 3 of them? It took him no time at all to determine the answer. There was only one combination of 3 people that would give a digital root of 9.
1, 3, and 5.
That would mean... No!
No!
Oh, sorry.
We gotta go back!
That wasn't a possibility he was willing to consider. Santa and Ace agreed. Yep.
I agree. We cannot leave June behind.
Junpei let out a breath he had realized he'd been holding. Junpei, you okay?
Are you sure? I don't mind staying.
June's body betrayed her true feelings. Her eyes were met with the beginnings of tears and her legs shook. It's okay, man. There's no way we'd leave you behind. Santa had said what Junpei had known the moment he realized which 3 people could go through the door.
Besides, I'd rather drown at the bottom of the ocean than escape with this sausage fest. Maybe I'll get to go to Atlanta. Are you sure you don't mean Atlantis? Oh, right.
Okay, Junpei's sanity meter has gone down.
Yep. It's just all the pressure, you know?
The pressure of the water.
Water pressure.
Perhaps it was a sudden reinsurance. Oh, I've already read that part. But
yep.
Junpei laughed harder than he'd had in some time. Santa and Ace smiled.
You guys.
June blinked tears from her eyes and bit her lip. She didn't seem to know what else to say.
Very well. Best we head back to C deck, then. We should be able to take the elevator we passed earlier. Perhaps Clover, Seven, and Lotus will have returned from door 1.
Even as Ace spoke, they knew finding the others wouldn't improve the situation. There was no way they could be split into teams that could both go through the doors. Ace knew it. They all knew it. But there was nothing else they could do. They would find the other 3 and search for another solution.
All right, let's go.
Ace looked at all 3 of them, then turned and headed through the door. Santa and June followed. Junpei started toward the door, then stopped. He'd been busy with other concerns to notice the room itself. It didn't seem terribly important now, but what exactly was it? Junpei looked around the room, for the first time noticing things that weren't doors with 9 on them. A red carpet ran between 2 columns of wooden benches that ran the length of the room.
Mm-hmm.
The carpet began at the large set of double doors and ran toward the bow. Junpei wasn't sure. Was it an altar, perhaps? There was a small, rectangular alcove at the end of the carpet, and inside the alcove was a raised platform.
It does look kind of churchy.
Yeah. Resting on top of the platform was a coffin. A coffin. A coffin. A coffin! What on earth was a coffin doing in a place like this?
Well, with all the ladies that we've been voicing, there's a whole lot of coffin.
Yes. But before Junpei had time to answer that question... Hey, Junpei, man. What are you doing? Let's move. Santa's voice echoed in from the hall outside.
Right, okay. I'll be right there.
Junpei turned on his heel and left the quiet, somber room.
So that's 2 coffins so far.
Yeah.
I wonder if the other one has a gun in it too, for the convenient offing of anyone who might... Let's see. What's going on here? I'm leaving via the elevator to get back to the others.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much what you saw was kind of like when the characters leave the screen, not realizing there's something else there, but they leave the screen hanging there because something's happening, but the characters don't know about it.
Oh.
That's what you're seeing.
Okay. That was the omniscient camera.
Right. So Junpei left the room, and then there was the knocking.
Okay.